and we talk about it how we want, melting the little snowflakes. This is the Mark G Show, and this is Mark G.
Oh, what is going on, everybody? Boy, we got some interesting topics tonight, man. Quite a few interesting topics, actually. So for everybody who's tuning in right now, make sure you are commenting and sharing this out to let people know the Mark G Show is live. And as always, I have my brother Gary with me tonight. Gary, what's happening, man?
What's going on, brother?
Well, you know, it's another day not in a body bag, I guess.
We're alive and well. Alive and well.
Well, we're alive. I'm not sure about the well part. We'll find out. Maybe once Biden gets out of office, we'll be well.
It'll be better. It'll definitely be better.
Oh man, interesting scenario today, lately. So a lot of people, and actually my wife brought it up because she thought it was true. I guess the first topic we can bring up is about good old Nancy Pelosi's drunken husband, who got pulled over for an DUI, driving under the influence. And I guess there was a big rumor talking about the driving under the influences was dropped, and in fact it was not. So I wanted to clear that up because we were going to talk about being dropped, and I was literally going to start bitching about this, saying this is how the elite do it. If you have money and you got the power, you can easily walk away from not even getting a slap on your hand, type of a thing.
Well, I still think that rings almost 100% true anyways.
True. But
just not in regards to this particular situation.
Correct. For now. For now, because the way it reads is, I mean, they could still be dropped, right? So the article that I was reading on this, and I did check a couple other different articles and found some that somewhat related to this. And then of course, you know, if you look at the far right-wing stuff, they do talk about it being dropped. But this article here, and I'm going to go off of Fox News, even though I know all news stations are really not that great to go by anymore. You should really do your own research. But this article was dated back on June 9th, which is only a couple of days, right? What are we on right now? The 12th? Yes. Yeah. Three days ago, this article was written. And the article does state that the charges have not been brought upon Nancy Pelosi's husband yet, but he does have a scheduled court date for August 3rd at 8:30 a.m. in the Napa County Superior Court. So he still has a court date, but there's been no criminal charges filed. And I really wish we had somebody within the court system to let me know how this works, because according to this article, it did state that this is typical for DUI charges, that they're not automatically brought up. It takes a while for them to be brought up, which doesn't make sense to me, right? Because according to the article, dude, the guy blew a 0.8 blood alcohol content when he blew into the freaking tube. So he's drunk. So why is the charges not being brought up yet? That still raises a big flag there. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's interesting how they can find lots of reasons for delays when it comes to these people with a little bit of power.
Right.
I just want them to be accountable for their bullshit.
Exactly. I mean, this guy's got a lot of bad things going for him already as a driver. Yeah, he's 82 years old. That's already alone getting scary. Like, I'm scared for myself when I turn that old and get behind a wheel. So not only is he 82 years old, but, you know, he was also drunk and highly above the alcohol limit. Because what is it, like a 0.1 or a 0.2?
I thought it was 0. Is there an allowable amount?
I believe. Hold on. You know, let's ask Siri. Let's do this live on the show. I'm going to ask Siri what the blood alcohol. Hey, Siri, what is the blood alcohol limit legally allowed?
I found this on the web.
So here we go. We pulled it up. What state were they in again? They were in
Virginia, Vermont, Washington, D.C.
No. Hold on. Pelosi and influence. California Highway Patrol.
Oh, they're in California?
They're in California.
Fuck.
So zero tolerance BAC level is a 0.02.
0.02.
0.02.
So what is that, like a sip?
I think that's like 2 beers.
No way.
You think it's less than 2 beers?
For sure.
God, I wish I drank again, because I would so do a test right now. Like, I've got a breathalyzer. Don't ask
Mm,
I got a blood alcohol thing. I would have so tried that just to see.
yeah. I'm
But no,
curious.
yeah, I'm curious as well now, man. But I quit drinking, so I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anybody out here drinks and you live close to me, I know friends and family watch this. You guys would like to be guinea pigs. Please let me know. I would love to test this out to see how
Mm,
many beers it takes before you blow a .02, or how many
right.
sips it takes.
Yeah. I'm curious.
But yeah,
I
there's
mean, that's obviously going to be dependent on the person and their body weight and everything, right?
that. Yeah,
If you get a big 360-pound Bubba versus 135-pound little someone, that's going to be different.
I love how you said Bubba.
Bubba.
Bubba. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? So all these states are right around a 0.02. Alaska and Arizona are showing zeros across the board. So you're not
Yeah.
and Maine is too. So actually my state as well is a 0.
Yeah. See,
So
that's what I thought.
right. Well, let's see here. You are in 0-1 for New Jersey, 0-0 for North Carolina. It's in your state as well. It's zeros.
Hmm.
So there is a few states that are zeros across the board. Some states allow a 0-2.
Hmm.
I'm still saying a 0-2 is like 2 beers.
No way in hell.
Do you think? Well, it has to be, man.
I don't drink, dude. I can tell you if I pound 2 beers, like I'm gonna have a buzz. And if I'm allowed to drive with that kind of buzz, like I don't drink. So 2 beers is gonna do me pretty solid,
Yeah. All right. I kind of get that.
right?
I still need a guinea pig. Anybody out there? Come on, let me know.
Right.
I need a guinea pig. This is something we want to try, and we'll go live too. Like we'll do a whole Mark G show, special show live,
Guest.
right? Well, with a guest, and we'll just have you drink, and we'll test your. Like that'd be kind of fun. But no, man. So it's just interesting that the charges have not been filed yet. Like the charges should have already been brought up to them.
I agree.
And it does show that maybe we are going to see them dropped, and that's why a lot of people are already spreading the rumors that the charges have been dropped. But if the charges have not been made, the charges technically can't be dropped. There just have been no charges made at this time.
Yeah, but he fucking already blew a point, whatever, 0.08.
Yeah, 0.08 blood alcohol content.
So they're gonna be like, but that's just barely illegal. And it's like, come on, it's illegal. You broke the fucking law.
0.06. That's a pretty good jump.
I know, but they're gonna try to like downplay it, right? Like they're gonna try to make it seem like it's nothing.
Definitely. I guess maybe. I think I know why he drinks too much though. Have you ever seen the inside of Nancy Pelosi?
Pelosi, bro. He's married to Pelosi.
That alone will make you drink.
Hey, dude, fuck it. He made it to 80, 82, 88? What is he?
Hold on. His age is 82 years old.
Dude, he made it to 82.
Right?
Elite or not, I mean, shit. That's a milestone.
It is a milestone. No, it's definitely. If you can make it to 82, you're definitely doing something good. Well,
And if you're still able to drive, fuck it. You might as well kick back a couple, right?
I guess.
Should we do a disclaimer? Did we do a disclaimer on this one?
We have not. Maybe we should get that.
88-year-olds to go booze up and drive. We might want to disclaimer on this one.
For the record, I am highly against drinking and driving, folks. Just
For sure. Same.
Yeah.
So hit us with a disclaimer, Mark.
All right. For everybody watching YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as anybody listening on Apple and Spotify, please know that the views and opinions on the show, myself and my brother, as well as anybody who may jump on as a guest from the Wisdom app that we do broadcast live on, and we do allow them to come onto the show. Once again, it's the views and opinions of myself. It's up to you guys as the listeners and the watchers to choose what to do with this information, whether you research it, believe us, or don't believe us, or call us a crack of bullshit. It's really up to you. That's it. That's my disclaimer.
You were heavily throttled or something right when you were saying that disclaimer. Your service went to shit.
Are you serious?
100%.
So I'm going to have to do a replay on this. All right. We'll do the disclaimer one more time. Am I choppy or throttled right now, or is everything good?
No, I mean, it was choppy, but I mean, I heard everything you said, but it was definitely choppy.
It was definitely choppy. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
for entertainment purposes only. Don't take anything we say seriously. We're fucking off. So,
that's it.
All right. So with that being said, dude made it to 82 years old. Fucking kick back a couple of cold ones and fucking go be a dipshit old man.
Ice cream his wife has in her refrigerator.
Who? What?
Oh, come on. You tell me you've never seen the Instagram videos of Nancy Pelosi's refrigerator back when the pandemic.
Oh, right. It was all fully stocked up with like ice cream and shit.
Yeah, it was like thousands of dollars worth of friggin' ice cream. She's like, look at this. I know the families back at home can barely afford food right now because all of you guys are out of work because you're not essential. But look at all my ice cream that I enjoy. Fucking
ice cream does sound pretty good, though. I haven't had ice cream in a minute.
Yeah, ice cream. Why are we talking about ice? That does sound yummy. You know, what's your favorite ice cream, bro?
My favorite ice cream, if I'm going just like traditional, I'm just gonna go straight vanilla, like good old classic vanilla.
Damn, you're a plain Jane, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean, if you want me to get like you want me to start putting sprinkles and shit or whatever, that's like a different story.
Oh, what the hell? We just got booted off Wisdom.
What? No, we didn't. I'm watching this right now.
Uh-oh. Your talk was finished due to a code of conduct violation. Please help us keep Wisdom an exclusive safe space for people to gather to discuss topics of importance.
Really?
Really? We booted off.
Interesting.
We're talking about ice cream. We talked about Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Someone didn't like it.
Someone definitely did not like it. Wow. Should I restart it?
Yeah.
All right, let's restart it. Hold on 1 second.
Just see what happens.
Right? I'm going to type in live recording. Someone definitely did not like it. Maybe we hit a trigger word. All right, we're live again.
All right.
Back to it. We were talking about ice cream, man. So sprinkles of chocolate syrup. Yeah, man, that's good. But for me, it's the cotton candy with freaking Pop Rocks.
Cotton candy with Pop Rocks.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had Pop Rocks in my ice cream.
Oh, dude, it's freaking phenomenal.
What is it? Cold Stone? Is that the ice cream place? I don't know if that's out there in Maine. Do you have a Cold Stone there?
We have Cold Stone ice cream. Yeah,
but then they like smash up like brownies in it, and they smash up all like the gummy bears and stuff in there.
Yeah, man,
that's bomb. Like I definitely am down with some of that stuff too. But if I'm having just a regular ice cream, just give me vanilla, dude. Like I am cool with vanilla. I'll put a little bit of chocolate syrup on there, and I'm stoked.
All right, yeah. So you're a plain Jane.
Yeah, dude. Keep it simple. Simple is better for me, man.
Well, what's that same saying? That's keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to be somewhat careful when I say. I thought people on Wisdom heard my disclaimer, but
well,
something
my fault. Probably my fault, dude. I'm the one that I was saying shit.
Yeah,
my bad.
Maybe it was your fault.
My bad.
Well, regardless of that, and let's jump into the next topic then on that one, because we're talking about how we have a disclaimer telling people our show to do with our information what they please, and that's for entertainment purposes only. We put it out there. But here's a funny thing. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, issued an alert on June 7th, 2022. It issues a National Terrorism Advisory System, NTAS bulletin. And it kind of goes from us just being booted off of Wisdom how to restart, because you never know who's listening, number one. You never know who's watching. You never know who you're going to trigger, right? That said, for everybody on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, I hope I don't trigger you guys. But DHS has posted this alert. It says, in the coming months, I'm not going to start from the beginning. You guys can actually check this out if you go to dhs.gov, look in the alerts. Matter of fact, let me pull it up on the screen here so everybody knows that I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to pull up this DHS alert right here. I'm going to throw it up here. There we go. Wow, that's kind of really tiny. That does not work well. We're going to take it off. But as you guys can see here, I want to see. Yeah, it doesn't work too well. All right, we're taking that off the screen because it doesn't work. As you guys can see,
we'll figure that out.
We will figure that out. That might be a little bit of a more video editing in the future. But let me go read into this here. I'm going down to the third paragraph of this because it's the one that really makes you kind of go, huh? And it really does make you wonder what's really going to happen. What do they know that's going to happen that we don't know what's going to happen, right? And this is the type of stuff that kind of scares you about the government a little bit.
Right.
And in the coming months, DHS expects the threat environment to become more dynamic as several high-profile events could be exploited to justify the acts of violence against a range of possible targets. These targets could include public gatherings, faith-based institutions, schools, racial, ethnic, and religious minorities, government facilities, and personnel, U.S. critical infrastructures, the media, and perceived ideological opponents. I probably butchered that word right there, and I'm really bad with my speech.
Ideological. You're all right. You're close. Close
I'm
enough.
close. And then we're going to go down to the fourth paragraph and continue reading this here, though. And then I'll stop after that one. Threat actors have recently mobilized to violence due to factors such as personal grievances, reactions to current events, and adherence to violent extremist ideologies, including racially and ethically motivated or anti-government, anti-authority violent extremism, foreign adversaries, including terrorist organizations and nation-state adversaries, also remain intent on exploiting the threat environment to promote or inspire violence, sow discord, or undermine U.S. democratic institutions. DHS continues to assess the primary threat of mass casualty violence in the United States stems from the lone offenders and small groups motivated by a range of say that word for me.
Ideological.
Thank you. Beliefs and or personal grievances. Interesting, right? So let's talk about this. And here's where I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off. Everybody knows where I stand. I stand on the Republican side. But let me tell you this, and this is the part that kind of makes me really look back at Tom McDonald's kind of songs, how he doesn't really have a side. Really makes you wonder, as far as the left and the right goes, they really are truly pinning Americans on each other. And if you can read that, it don't matter what side you're on. If you're on the left side, when you read that, you're thinking, oh, shit, okay. So the right extremists, they're going to call the people pro-Trumpers, are going to start this stuff. Or what's that one group out there? What do they call themselves? Proud Boys. And the other groups out there, oh, they're going to start up this, blah, 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 blah. And then you got the people on the right that are saying, oh, Antifa, BLM, they're all going to be out there starting this stuff, right? So I don't know, man. This is some scary times that we're looking at. And you really do got to wonder. I should put on my tinfoil hat right now to really put on this, but what's going on here? Do they know something we don't know? It's a little tough one.
It's propaganda, man, and it's unfortunate because like the media is definitely allegedly, seemingly, pinning us against one another. And it seems like the more news, if I find myself reading news, whether it's independent or it's mainstream, it's like I do feel myself getting like aggravated.
Right.
Like, and I'm just like, I was like, I'm in a good mood. Why am I looking at the news? If I look at the news, like I'm almost guaranteed to be kind of brought down. And
right.
It's like, that's like, and I noticed that when I go like 2 days or so without reading the news, it's like, all right, well, I kind of want to know what's going on, right? You want to stay current.
Right.
But then I'm reading it and I'm just like, this is all terrible. Like, this is so divisive. Like they're not offering solutions. They're not talking about anything. It's just slander and talking trash about the other person, and they're evil. And if you believe this, then you're a bad person. Or if you support this, or if you don't support this, you're a bad person. And that is weird. Like it's divisive. It's confrontational. It's conflictive.
Right. And I mean, that's just as bad as like social media. So, I mean, if you look at all the social media,
yeah, dude.
Turning everybody against each other. Like, so I'm guilty of social media. I voice my opinion quite a bit, especially when I see certain posts that I know for a fact is something that person posted or shared because it led them due to media giving out the wrong information. Folks, if you don't think media gives out the wrong information, there's something wrong with it. Media definitely posts out wrong information. We talked about this on our show last week, and I want to bring it up again.
Yeah.
So I had a family member come up and attack me a little bit because they posted an article about AR-15s. So they said assault rifles need to be banned. There is no such thing as assault rifle. Anything can be assault. The way I worded it is this. Listen.
What if I have like an assault spoon? Can I have an assault spoon?
If you take a spoon and you hit me, yes, you just assaulted me.
It's an assault spoon.
So, like, seriously, think about it. Okay, AR, it does not stand for assault rifle. AR stands for armor light, which is the name of the company that made the AR-15. That's it. And then like citizens should not own fully automatic weapons. Guess what, America? Citizens cannot own fully automatic
They
weapons.
don't. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
illegal in the
Yeah.
United States. The only weapon you can own in the United States is a semi-automatic weapon. And guess what that requires you to do? Every time to pull the trigger. 1, 2, 3. You can't just pull and hold. That's why I talked about the bump stocks. You know, I was all right with that ban because, you know, I get that because the bump stock allowed it. So if you held up your gun, you pulled the trigger, boom, it bounced back. So it forced your finger to keep going in. It allowed you to kind of get that automatic feeling, but it still wasn't automatic. It was still semi-automatic, but the bump stock made it so it obviously bumped in and continues to shoot. So with that being said, I was okay with that because I get that. You don't really, I mean, maybe in a certain time frame, if we were like in a situation in Ukraine, hell yeah, that'd be handy as fuck. But right now, we're not, right?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Well, who knows what the next 2 to
We really don't know what's coming. And it's scary times. And people are going to get worse. I'm a big advocate on Second Amendment. I'm not going to hide that for any social media or any platform where I'm able to speak my mind or try to speak my mind. I'm a big advocate for Second Amendment. I believe every law-abiding citizen in the United States should own, be trained, and carry a firearm on them. We would be in a much safer place if we did. Criminals would be scared. If we sit there and try, and I'm going to work my way into this, you guys, because I want to talk about the bipartisan deal that the Democrats and Republicans just recently came up with. I'm going to get into that part, but I just kind of want to speak on this real quick. And I'm kind of okay with what they talked about. I'm still, but I'm kind of okay with what they talked about. And there's one article, one section in there that kind of got me questioning, but we'll get into that in a minute. Pro Second Amendment. I believe no matter how tough you make any gun law, no matter how tough you get it, remember who shoots and kills people? Anybody want to tell me? Oh, wait, that's right. Criminals. Criminals are going to get their hands on anything, no matter what. Want to talk about crack? Whatever bad drugs are out there that are illegal drugs that are floating around the streets that are killing thousands of Americans daily from overdoses.
fentanyl.
Yeah, that shit's banned, right? That
Right.
shit's banned. But guess what? Criminals get their hands on it. Banning stuff does not take it off the streets. Banning stuff does not take it out of the hands of anybody except for
And
a lot.
it doesn't even really make it that much more difficult to get it. Like if you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that can go for anything. That can go for getting your master's degree to getting something in the black market. Like people are pretty clever and turn into engineers when they really need to. You know what I mean? So making it harder for law-abiding people, I don't necessarily think that carries over to people who are going to get whatever they want, however they want it.
All right. And here's my Republican side of me now. And this is what makes me kind of say Republicans are for the people and Democrats, I don't feel so much for, right? Because Democrats have always been trying to come after the guns. You cannot deny that. They have been. They've always been trying to come after the guns. Republicans have always tried saving pro Second Amendment. With that being said, it seems funny that, well, number one, I'm seeing a hell of a lot more mass shootings going around like crazy, but that's my tinfoil hat. We're not going to go that far down the road. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about the bill here. Let me pull it up here. I've got this thing. It's really small as I saved it on my phone. It was actually a senator who posted it, but the proposal includes this. And I'm going to go through the whole proposal so everybody can hear this. So let's give it to you guys. The first thing on the board is support the state crisis intervention orders. And Gary, if you feel like you want to jump in with any of these ones, just let me know and I'll stop for a minute.
No, you're good. I'm listening.
Provides resources to states and tribes to create and administer laws that help ensure deadly weapons are kept out of the hands of individuals whom a court had determined to be significant danger to themselves or others.
Deadly weapons, dangerous weapons. What did that say?
Determined to be, hold on. Deadly weapons.
So what's a deadly weapon?
That is true, right?
A baseball bat, a guitar case. I mean, a music stand. What's a deadly weapon? Like those really vague
Words.
that's the stuff that I like. I just don't like. I want it to be specific, because when you leave shit open for interpretation to like someone's perceived something, or like a word like a deadly weapon, I know what a deadly weapon is. Like I get what they're trying to do, but like a car can be a deadly weapon. Like a jump rope can be a deadly weapon.
No, that's 100% true. So that, yeah, I think maybe you are right. That's some type of wording that they should probably look at and probably change to.
It sketches me out. That's the shit I get hung up on, and I'm like, dur, 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 like I can't it's like it, like, yeah, I don't know.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, hopefully they catch that and fix the wording on that, because yeah, deadly weapon, almost anything, any object can be a deadly weapon.
Right.
Anything can kill you.
A bowling ball. You tell me you can't kill someone with a bowling ball? Bullshit.
Right? No, exactly.
Right?
100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry. So where was that? You posted endanger to themselves and others. No, consistent with the state and federal due process and constitutional protections. So that was the first paragraph. The second one is investment in children and family mental health services. National expansion of community behavioral health center model. Major investments to increase access to mental health and suicide prevention programs and other support services available in the community, including crisis and trauma intervention and recovery. I 100% agree with that. What's the one thing people on the right have been calling for? We need better mental health here in the United States. We do. We need to handle mental health issues a lot better in our country.
And that's a complicated subject, right? Or topic or whatever. Like the solution to that is like, there's no immediate solution, which is almost makes it not seem like it's worth investing in, right? Because it's going to take, you got a lot of broken families in America, right? There's a lot of broken families. There's a lot of people on drugs. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed.
Right.
You have to fix the root before, I don't know. Yeah, it does need, that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem in America, mental health. And like, there's too many broken things in America to just say like, oh, we need to fix mental health, because what the hell does that mean?
Right. No, the sad part is there's a lot of the institutions that, someone maybe needed some help are closed down now. Like they've lost their federal funding. So they've been closed. Yeah. They've lost their state funding. They've been closed down. And I remember this because in the Maine, I think we had like 3 or 4.
I'm sure $40 billion would probably be a fair amount of money to reinvest in something like that.
Exactly.
Sending it over
to Ukraine.
Exactly.
100% agree with you. And then that's one of the problems with our country right now. And I think people need to start voting against this. But we, the American people, should have the right to vote as well. Not just fucking Congress, but we, the American people, should have the right to vote where we send our tax.
Oh man, I would love to have input where my taxes go. It would be like to music. It'd be to fitness for the schools. It would be to the arts for the schools. Like, I don't know, man. I'm big on fitness and creativity.
Right, because our taxes are supposed to be what? Like us being a bank, loaning the money to the government to do what they need to in order to run our country. That's what our taxes are, right? That's why when you file taxes, you're supposed to get money back. I pay out the fucking ass. We're not going to talk about that. But you're supposed to get money back if you don't own a business. It's small. Some of the big corporations get nice big breaks and get money, though.
Tax law, brother. I'm telling you. I don't know shit about tax law, but I know that it's designed to incentivize businesses, but I just don't know enough about it to use it to my advantage.
Right. Same here, man.
Yeah.
But I would love to see American people be able to vote where their money fucking goes, because I think America, well, a good percentage of Americans would have said, no, that $40-50 billion that you sent over to Ukraine needs to be used here in our arsenal for the American people, because got a lot of Americans right now, and I'm going to say Americans because there is another. We're going to get back into this. I know everybody's like, "Wait, why don't we?" All right, let's finish this whole gun thing because
God damn, our ADD is so bad, man. We need to tighten this shit up.
We do. It's horrible, man.
Oh my god.
All right. So we did the investment in children and family mental health services. That's where I left off. So this thing's like 6. This thing's like 6 different categories here. So let's get through the next one.
All right. I'll try to shut up. Hold on.
No, you bring up some. Bring up.
All right.
That's what we're supposed to do, right? Protections for victims of domestic violence. Convicted domestic violence abusers and individuals subject to domestic violence restraining orders are included in NICS, which is the National Database for Criminals, including those who have or have had continuing relationship of a romantic or intimate nature. So my guess is it's protecting anybody who's had a domestic charges brought up against them. They would not be allowed to own a firearm. That'd be what I'm guessing where they're going with that one.
A domestic, sorry,
Domestic.
a domestic dispute.
Not domestic dispute, but like had domestic charge. So you
Well, like if you're beating the shit out of your wife,
yeah, right. So
husband, or whatever, like
no guns for you, or in this their wording, deadly weapon.
Deadly weapon. So what if I want to go and play golf?
Right. Yeah, I know.
Try to tell me my golf club. I can't fuck someone up with my golf club. I just don't like that. There's just a very vague, too much ambiguity.
Right.
Sorry.
Let's go on to the next. All right. So funding for school-based mental health and supportive services. Invest in programs to expand mental health and supportive services in schools, including early identification and intervention programs and school-based mental health and wraparound services. I don't know if I can really understand what that means by the wording of that. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the schools that I could go on for hours just talking about that alone. But mental health issues, I can tell you one of the biggest things school has is bullying, both in school, cyberbullying, texting bullying, I guess is a whole thing now where the kids are being bullied via text messages. I mean, they need to work on the bullying system too. That's where most of the teen suicide stuff like that come from, is from being bullied.
Yeah, but you know what? I got bullied. I don't. So look, I don't condone bullying, right? I don't think people should go out there and be a bully, but I also think that's a coming of age thing. I got my ass kicked in middle school, but I deserved it because I talked a lot of shit.
Yeah, you did. You had a big mouth.
I still talk a lot of shit. But you know what I mean? Like it like I got put in my place when I stepped out of line.
Right.
And like, again, I don't condone bullying, but I mean, if you're just like a little skinny kid and you're like really smart and people are calling you dork and dweeb and stuff like that, toughen up. Like, I know I'm a dick. I'm going to get a lot of pushback on that, but like this whole, like, people are fragile mentality that they're pushing, I don't buy it. I think that people are very resilient. I think we're very resilient. And I think when we have this victim mindset and we're all weak and shit, I don't like that. Like, we fucking survived, like, killing crazy wild cats in the back in our day, right? Like, our ancestors were badass. Our grandparents were badass compared to how weak we are nowadays. Like, I don't support fucking participation trophies. I'm not a fan of that. I think it makes people weak. And I don't condone bullying. I think it's fucked up. But if you're getting bullied, learn why people bully. And so you can be smarter than them, right? Learn jujitsu, go do some deadlifts. Like, I promise you won't be bullied for very long. You know what I mean? Like, this whole people are fragile stuff pisses me off, man. Sorry. All right, I'm done. Shut up.
I heard the teapot boiling there, man.
God damn. I just think people are very strong. I think you know what I mean? People are resilient. People are very capable. And I don't like this whole tricking people into thinking they're weak bullshit.
Well, look at that post we were talking about before we continue on to we're at the mental health, the support services, schools, but look at the LinkedIn conversation we were talking.
Mental health, and I'm over here losing my shit.
Yeah. But no, all right, we'll go back real quick and go back to a couple podcast episodes where we're talking about the whole LinkedIn conversation that we were having. And, you know, someone was talking about being easy on people. And I made a comment about it and saying, listen, life experiences are what teaches us to be the people we are today.
Totally.
If we didn't have certain situations or certain things happen to us, we may not be in the road that we're at now.
Right.
For instance, and I'm proud to say, me being the dorky kid that I was, friggin' doing the oops, yeah, it's still in kind. Yeah. Shut up. You're freaking sidetracking me, asshole.
All right, you're good.
So, but going from everything from living on the whole welfare system, learning how the welfare system, operates, how they treat the people that are on it, how they want you to like be dependent on it, and basically make you live off welfare system for your whole life. That's their goal, right? That's what it seems like. And it's really not meant for that. It's meant for you to be on a short term to get your feet wet, get in the water, build something with your life, whether it be getting a job, working hard and being a success in that, or starting your own business. For instance, that's what my wife and I did. We went from living in the complete welfare system, getting everything underneath the sun, to now being off of it all and purchasing our first home. And we lived in housing. We lived in government housing. Let me tell you, that's one of the worst things ever, right? Because every year you get a piece of paper, they got to come in and do these inspections, and then they'll tell you, hey, we're going to be upgrading this because we got to get up to code, and they just come into your house. I remember there was one time we were in there, we had the three older kids now that are all old, now adults, were sitting there playing in the house when these workers didn't even bother knocking on our door. They just walked on in, started changing out the windows. The wife and I are passed out sleeping, and the kids are running around while the fucking construction workers are running in, taking out windows. I'm like, woke up like to the noise. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing in my fucking house? It's weird how that, I don't know.
How many slum landlords did you have, dude?
Dude, all right. So when we started getting out of that whole housing situation, we, got a job, started working hard, paying rent. We went through, I want to say, about 5 to 6 slumlords, man. It was like, they have buildings being condemned to all this. And finally, we got into this house that we rented. We loved it. And when the COVID hit, we were still renting. And at that time, I remember I didn't think we were going to afford it. I got scared. We were already running our business. I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I lost a lot of my businesses because they all closed down. I'm scared. He's like, don't worry about it, Margaret. You're going to get through it. And sure as shit, we made it through the whole freaking thing. When everybody started opening back up, he's like, I'm sorry, but now I have to sell. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. I'm buying. I ain't moving again.
Right. It's like, you can sell it as long as you sell it to me.
Once ago, we got totally sidetracked, but I think where I was trying to go with that is life experiences bring on for chances for you to better yourself.
Yeah.
And
like
have
learned, like every company you tried to start, right? You learned something. Someone would say, oh, you failed at another business, but you're learning little tricks here. You're learning little tricks there. Like,
I failed so many fucking times.
Right. But you have to, that's learning, right? Like that's what it is.
So much, man. I sold the back of my neck on eBay, for Christ.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. But
you did what it took, right?
That's it. And let's get back on topic here. Let's get back into this. So we're talking about the funding for school-based mental health and supportive services, funding for school safety resources. That was the next one down there. Invest in programs to help institute safety measures in and around primary and secondary schools, support school violence prevention efforts, and provide training to school personnel and students. I think that's what the right and a lot of people have been saying from the get-go. I kind of understand that. Number one, we should probably train certain teachers. This is my opinion. Remember this, folks. I think one of the things is we should have some armed teachers in the school who are trained, and the only people who know they are armed is the superintendent of the school and the teacher who's armed. Everybody else does not need to know that teacher's armed, not the students, not the fellow other teachers. You'd have a sign-up sheet, the teachers who sign up, you'd pick X amount in every different locations of the building. They would go in, they would take CCW courses or whatever they need to do in their state. They'd be trained, proficient, make sure they can handle if a situation ever arises. And then they would be the only ones who would be concealed and nobody else would know except for the superintendent. So this way here, number one, the teacher is able to become in action and help protect. But number two, let's talk about that $40 billion that got sent over to Ukraine. Why the hell not? Could we be using that $40 billion got used to put in protection into our schools? I've seen some pretty sweet systems that are in some schools. Like, for instance, they got cameras that automatically go to the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department can see exactly where that active shooter is in the school, and they can trigger off these different smoke bombs, I guess you could say, that are installed in the ceiling to kind of blind the shooter, as well as automatically lock that shooter into different areas of the school.
That'd be interesting.
That system alone was, I think,
just it makes me feel like schools become prisons at that point. Like that just fucking feels so dystopian. Like that doesn't make me like super excited to go to school. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. This is like, why do we even need that? That's what I want to do.
But listen,
like we shouldn't need that.
We shouldn't. When did mass shootings start happening in schools the most? Can you tell me?
Say that again.
When did mass shootings start in school the most? When did they really?
No idea when.
Once schools became
gun-free zones.
Exactly. That was one of the biggest problems. So I remember going to high school, and we would have friends that have their freaking pickup trucks, and there were shotguns in the back of their.
Totally.
Because
they remember that.
They go to the shooting range after school.
Yep.
They were trained. They knew how to use their firearms, but it wasn't a gun-free zone. No one's going to go into a place that allows firearms to try shooting up, because you know what? They're going to have an unlucky freaking day, and they're going to be eliminated pretty freaking quick.
Totally.
That was one of the biggest problems. That was the biggest mistakes we ever did, was create gun-free zones. I hate to say it, malls, gun-free zones, biggest mistake. I'm probably going to get a lot of shit in the comments on YouTube for that.
Yeah, it's like I understand the logic of why they want to try these regulations, but it's like it doesn't help. Obviously, it's had the opposite effect, right?
Right.
So, or maybe it's the desired effect, right? Who knows? I don't know if that's what they really wanted or what.
It just goes back to what I talked about, though. Criminals don't listen. The only one they are hurting is law-abiding citizens.
Exactly.
Because myself, I go to my kids' schools to pick them up. I carry daily. But if I got to go to a school to have a school meeting with my kid or anything like that, I have to leave. So I can't even have my firearm in my vehicle when I go into school, right? I can't, because it's on school property.
God damn.
So I have to leave my firearm at home and then go to store and go to school. And then I can go to the store, whatever. I don't have my firearm on me that day. But God forbid something happens while I'm at the store, I'm really fucking screwed, right? So sometimes I'm home and I'll friggin' re-put it back on before I go to the store. But it's law-abiding citizens are going to obey the law. They're going to follow the law. So criminals are not. Alex Verde says over on YouTube, they can do all the laws they want, but someone is always going to get a gun in their hand. That's 100% true.
100% true, man.
Talking about
that's exactly what we're saying.
So
couldn't agree more.
Let's jump down to there's 4 more things in this bill. Clarification of definition of federally licensed firearms dealer. Supposedly, this cracks down on criminals who illegally evade licensing requirements. I'd have to look into that one because I'm not really sure. So, like, for instance, I know in the state of Maine, they have to have an FFL license, which is your firearms sale license, whatever. It's federal firearms licensing that you have to have. And when you go through that, when you get your background check. So, like, say, for instance, we'll say I order a gun online, right? The gun does not get shipped to my house. I will not get that gun. I have to pick an FFL dealer for that firearm to be shipped to.
Okay.
I go to either their business or their home, because some of them operate from their home. The last one I purchased does operate from his home.
Interesting.
You go to their house, you bring in your ID. They take your ID. They enter in your information to this database, which is, I believe it's a FBI database. And it gets done with a background check. It'll say, yes, the information's facts. No warrants, blah, blah, blah. Nothing violent. Continue sale. And then you continue the sale and boom. Some states do have 24 to 48 hour holds. State of Maine does not. It's just once you get entered and you get that license. So maybe this is something to do with that process. I wonder if that's going to make the purchasing a gun process even longer. I'm not sure.
Right.
This is just me trying to think about what they're talking about in that investment. But going on. Telehealth investments. Invest in programs that increase access to mental and behavioral health services for youth and families in crisis via telehealth. I can see that having the help with families. I'm not a big fan of telehealth. I'll tell you that. I mean, people need to get out of their homes, man. Like,
I couldn't agree more, dude. I think there's a lot to be said about sunshine and fresh air.
right? There's tons of it. And here's the other problem too. Telehealth and remote school learning is where I come in, where saying this stuff is bad on many levels, because once you get that mentality of just staying in the house, not going out anywhere, that's all you want to do. You don't associate with people. You don't build. But see, my kids are arguing with this. I've argued with my daughter and my older son about this as well. Like, oh, we associate with people online, on Xbox, on the computer. That's not the same as physically being
Right.
face.
They're not wrong, but they're missing the point.
Exactly. Right. It's better to have a physical contact with another human being.
Yes. There's very important. There's like neuroscience that goes into it. There's a lot of science that goes into the importance of being in physical groups with people, shaking hands, hugging, bumping shoulders with like your boys. Like, there's a lot to be said about that shit.
Yeah, and now they're talking about telehealth and programs, right, for behavioral health services for youth and families in crisis via telehealth. My problem with that is this. So look at us right now. We're on camera, right? We're on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We have this border around us. Even if we didn't have this border around us and I didn't have this whole fancy green screen and stuff like that, I'm talking to you, pretend you're my doctor, right? You can see my face. You can't see my hands or my feet, which a lot of psychiatrists and doctors do look at while they're talking to you, because your hands and your feet tell a lot about how you are feeling, or, what you might be thinking of, because you do different movements. And it's like, okay, you got a nervous tick, your fingers tapping or whatever, but you can't see that as a doctor. So how are you going to
Hey, man, you're not supposed to be able to see that shit. How are you seeing that shit, man? I thought it was just on my face right now. What's going on?
Right. But no, seriously, like they can't see that shit. So how are they supposed to diagnose all this
For
stuff?
sure. There's a lot more to an in-person visit, right? Like you're reading a lot more than just what the person's telling you, or you should as a doctor, I would think.
So I'm going to say I'm not a fan of the telehealth.
Right. I think it has its place. I think it has its place. I don't think it should replace, you know what I mean? I don't think it should replace things, but I don't know. I'm sure there are situations where having a telehealth thing is probably beneficial.
All right.
You know what I mean? I think it's situational,
Right.
but yeah, you are missing a lot by doing it.
All right. Let's move on. We got two more to go. Yeah, 2 more to go. The next one, and here's another one that I kind of disagree with, and I'll go into my reasoning, and then you can tell me about what your thought process is.
What do you got?
Under 21 enhanced review process for buyers under 21 years of age requires an investigative period to review juvenile and mental health records, including checks with state database and local law enforcement. So, and now, mind you, in the state of Maine, I think actually it's a federal law. If you're under the age of 21, you cannot buy a firearm. Under the age of from 18 to 20, or up to 21, you can buy a rifle. You just cannot buy a pistol. Okay. So that law is pretty good, but here's my problem with it. And a lot of people, this is where a big debate is starting. At 18 years old, you can sign a contract and go to war. You can make the green.
And you can sign a contract for like $200,000 for your fucking schooling.
Yeah. And you can go make the green grass grow, all thanks to Uncle Sam. Yep. For those in the military, you understand what I'm saying by that. I'm choosing my words carefully because I don't want to get
bananaed again.
But for those who have not been in the military, just do yourself a favor and Google how to make green grass grow. The type in the word military afterwards, and you'll because you might
that might be the prerequisite right there. Is make sure you had military.
Yes. Or you might just pull up a lot of landscape.
Who knows what you're gonna get otherwise.
2 girls, 1 cup. Don't Google that. But no, but seriously though, so if you can go to war and fight for your country, you can fire off for getting guns that way, and even more powerful guns.
I was just gonna say you get some pretty fun guns in the military.
240 Bravo, man. I love that motherfucker. So
Dude.
big, beautiful. Oh, sexy little gun. Well, but no, man. So like, you can do that. I can get some of it, but I can't grasp this whole concept yet. To me, it needs more indication. How about if they add in if anybody is currently actively serving within that age frame,
They're
they should
exempt,
go
right?
exempt.
I think.
Like for instance,
Unless they've been like what is it like? You can have like you can get kicked out, but it's not like a bad kick out, right? Like an honorable discharge. If you have like a dishonorable discharge, then
right, dishonorable discharge, maybe not, but if you have an honorable discharge, then yes, you're exempt.
right. Or like if you have some, but see, that's the thing. Like, is that shit public?
DD2. So when I got out, I don't even have my DD214. My DD214 sits at the city hall. Because when I got, they told me that's what I should do with it. So like mine's somewhere lost. I mean, I could request it. So I believe you can pull that information up online. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. I know we got my wife's father's.
But you didn't have a dishonorable, right? Yours wasn't dishonorable.
I was on.
So yeah, so it's the folks that are dishonorable that I think maybe it's worth a mental health check, perhaps.
Right.
But I don't even know.
I mean, I guess
still feel like they have the right to defend their home, right?
Right. So I guess we'd have to look at it as this method. There's some wording that's kind of scary in the way it's worded, and it should all be looked at again and possibly revised before it is voted up into brought up to the what is it, the Senate. My wife and I get this confused all the time when we talk.
I don't know, man.
I think it goes up to the Senate next.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Last thing of this bill, man. We're the last one on the bill. Penalties for straw purchasing. This is something I did not look up, so I'm not sure why I'm reading this. If you can just type in straw purchasing into DuckDuckGo and see what you can pull up. But the wording goes as this: cracks down on criminals who illegally straw purchase and traffic guns. See, I'm unfamiliar with what the what straw purchasing means.
Oh, okay, so it's a criminal act in which something, especially a firearm, is bought by one person on behalf of another who is legally unable to make the purchase. So if I was not legally allowed to buy a gun and I go, hey, yo, Mark, bruh, what up, dog? Let me give you $50 if you just go and pick up one of these little, just go get me one of them 45s, just give me a little something.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you buy that for me. You would at that point be a straw purchaser.
All right. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That can be kind of crazy too, because I know a lot of parents buy their kids a gun for their birthday. Would that be considered a straw purchase? See, so would you not be able to buy a gun as a gift anymore? Would it have to be the individual who wants a gun? You'd have to give them a gift card
on behalf of another person.
I think that would be covered as a gift. You wouldn't be able to buy a gun as a gift anymore. Or a husband who wants to buy his wife a gun, for a wife who wants to buy her husband a gun.
Yeah. Huh.
That kind of makes so you can't even gift that.
Multiple purchases of the same or similar gun would also be considered a straw purchase. Okay, so there seems to be a few different criteria. So is a straw buyer. Okay, so I'll have to look into this because this is interesting. So there's a straw man buyer or a scarecrow. I don't know. A
lot of stuff. All right, we'll look into that, folks. We'll come back.
That looks complicated, but it looks fun. I want to learn about it.
All right, so next week we'll talk more about that on that part. But that's everything that's within the bill. That's recently, I guess, had bipartisan decisions on. So we will see where that goes over here at the course of the week. I'm sure we're going to see some movement. The DHS issues national terrorism. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's go back to the national terrorism thing. And one of the things that pops to my head, especially where this was dated June 7th, 2022, when Department of Homeland Security issued this.
The ATF has a single exemption that allows buying a gun for another person. and that is when it is a bona fide actual gift.
Oh, okay.
Mark, brother, what up, dog? So,
Happy birthday, bro.
yeah, right, exactly. Hey, for real. So if it's a bona fide actual gift, then it's a gift.
Right. Okay. So now you threw me off here. I think I was talking about Department
Sorry.
of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's fine. I went back to Department of Homeland Security because we want to talk about that. The whole thing where they're talking about certain issues coming up, rising soon. June 7th, 2022 is when this issued. They have yet, as far as I know, have yet to announce their decision on Roe versus Wade. Am I correct? There has been no confirmation.
I don't know. That story disappeared pretty quickly, though, didn't it?
It did and it didn't. So here's the situation that's going on with that. It's currently we have protesters outside of Supreme Court justices' homes.
Right now, still.
Right now, still. Someone's already tried to assassinate one. They've been brought into custody. They've been taken out. But here's this thing that's going on right now. And this is why I'm kind of pissed off. Nancy Pelosi and AOC keep shutting down the idea of sending private security to our Supreme Court justice's home to protect them. And by all means, they need it because they are Supreme Court justices, right? But Nancy Pelosi and AOC have been shooting it down.
Especially if they have people protesting outside of their homes.
Which is illegal.
Which should be against the law.
It is against the law. It actually is it's against the law to protest out of a home of a Supreme Court justice judge. It's absolutely against the law.
But it's happening right now.
But it's happening.
And it's being encouraged.
Yes, and it's being encouraged, including by the press secretary. So where really is the Democrats? I'm going to call them out as it is right now because it is the Democratic Party that's saying, oh, let it happen. But when it comes down to, other certain protests that we won't talk about, it's bad. Oh, that can't be accepted. But then we have other protests happen when buildings are being burned down and stuff's happening. That's okay.
Mostly peaceful protests.
It's just, I don't know, man. We're in some troubled times, and you wanted to talk about food shortages. There's also gas shortages that are being discussed. That there's possibly during the summertime we're going to see gas shortages. There's also supposedly rolling blackouts that are going to be happening a lot more frequent this summer.
Yep.
Also, there's a lot of stuff coming into play for this summer, and it's going to be a very, very scary summer, in my opinion. That's going to be happening for all the Americans out here. I really
agree.
do.
I was at the market today. Ching and I went to the store, and there was a gang of gaps in the grocery store, man. Like a lot of produce wasn't there. There was a lot of stuff just not there. I don't know. Maybe it's Sunday night and they're stocking. Maybe we came at a weird moment in the day, but I can say that it's the most holes that I've seen on the shelves so far.
Here's another thing. If the government is truly worried about the American people and their source of food right now, if we're going to start seeing food shortages, maybe now is the time to lift all restrictions on fishing and lift all restrictions on hunting. Let the American people who are willing to go out and find the food for their family start finding it. Get rid of the bag limits of the fish. Get rid of the bag limits on the hunting. Let them go.
Well, I mean,
so listen, you're saying that, right? But let me ask you, were talking earlier how our forefathers or whatever, do you think the cavemen had bag limits? Do you think they had bag limits back in, I don't know.
There's a difference though.
Okay.
There's a slight difference.
I'm listening.
Right now, people are fucking dumb. And you're going to get one dude who knows a spot and he's upstream from you and he's going to bag all the shit that you're never going to get.
Okay. I can agree.
There's greedy people who are opportunists, air quotes, who are going to take advantage of the situation. So, it's just like the morons that hoarded all the TP and you couldn't get TP. Like, people are dumb. Like, we just have to, people are dumb and people are greedy, and people, when they're being driven by fear, become desperate. And then when people become desperate, they start doing really weird shit.
Okay. So let's word it this way then. So yeah, you make absolute sense there. So how long do you think a deer meat could last a family of, I don't know, we'll say a family of four? One
4 months.
4 months. Okay. So one deer every 4 months. You go out hunting. Once you bag a deer, you'd have it be recorded in the books or whatever, some type of database. One deer every 4 months if you could feed your family that way, right?
Well,
Of
I mean,
course,
if you live on like a 15 acres of land and there's deer that just happen to cross your shit and you clip 2 or 3 at a time, I mean, you're probably going to be sharing that meat with your neighbors, right? Like if you're a good neighbor and you're clipping a couple of deer, right? So
yeah,
it's like that's why it's like these things are complicated. Like these situations are different. Like how much meat am I going to go through? Well, I eat a lot of meat, right? But I'm not hunting because I don't have I'm not set up to hunt in my area.
right.
For those who are listening, I'm not set up to hunt in my area. So I buy all my meat.
That's right.
So, I just feel like it's situational. It's sensitive to the situation. What's up with why are you doing that? What's going on here?
My green screens. Hold on. CGI straightening back out. There it
Whoa, that was weird.
was.
That was
That's
that
trippy.
was yeah, whatever you did, don't do that again. Hate you. But yeah, so it's sensitive, right? Like I don't think removing all of these limits is gonna solve the problem. I think it's people need to understand that things are gonna get tough, and it's like being a hoarder is not necessarily gonna make it a better thing because then people are gonna get desperate, and then that's when you need your firearms because things get desperate, and then someone's gonna try to break into your house because they saw you bring in 3 deer and they don't know that they're going to get a piece of it anyways. So they're going to try to take it.
100%. And that's kind of, I think, when before we rolled into talking about that, though, I was kind of trying to go with that. What we're seeing right now happening between gases and food and price of inflation, and people still saying that people are actually losing their jobs. So, we're talking about how hard it is for me to try finding an employee. I did find one, but I just talked to a friend of mine who just lost their job because they closed the business down because they couldn't find employees. And once again, it goes back to how the larger corporations are stealing from the smaller corporations because, see, my CGI is messing up for some reason, because they're able to offer a hell of a lot more money than a small business could. Certain small businesses can't offer as much money as the $20 to $30 an hour that we're seeing now by larger corporations. Hell, Target, you can now work at Target for $20 an hour.
$20 an hour at Target?
$20 an hour.
Yeah, but you probably only get like 22 hours a week.
Right. No, that exactly.
So it's the same as working full time at $10 an hour.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like that's where that's where the trickery is coming in. It's like we pay $20 an hour, but you're capped out at 17 hours a week. Like, well, that's not very great because I still need another job.
Right. Man, so let's see here. We're at 1 hour, 4 minutes in on this right now. We've touched up on, I was trying to make sure we touched up on everything that you and I were discussing about. We talked about the Department of Homeland Security, talked about guns. Was there anything else because you're the one that brought up food shortages. Was there anything else you wanted to
Yeah, just what we discussed earlier. I don't really have much more to add to it, but I heard a person's perspective that I thought was interesting. I don't know how accurate it is, but I don't know. It just made me reframe, I guess, the way I thought about this situation, right? And so I don't have my tinfoil hat in here, but just assume that I'm putting on my tinfoil hat right now. So his thing was his story was his mom is Native American, and she was telling him about the story of when the US government came in and like butchered like, I don't know, like 20 million or 80 million buffalo or some shit, like the majority of the buffalo in the area. And that was to like cause the Native American tribes to be more dependent on the American government, the American people, or what have you. And then, so if you just were to look at history as some sort of repetition, there's a lot of coincidentally timed baby food shortages and food processing plants that are exploding. Coincidentally, They all happened at the same time this year, right as the World Health Organization and our beloved president are warning us at great lengths of very, very bad food shortages that are coming.
Troubled times.
I don't know. It's just weird that the U.S. government has a bit of a track record of doing this, causing these types of things. I'm not saying that's happening now, although it probably is, but I'm not saying that, but it probably is. But it's a coincidence. I don't know. That's because I know we talked about the food shortages last week, and I heard about this story between then and now. So I don't know. Just a weird coincidence again for like the 700,000th time over the past 2 years.
Yeah. A lot of coincidence.
A lot of fucking coincidences, man.
All right, brother. Well, here, let's put it this way. Let's see where this week takes us. See what we come up with for our show. We will be back, you guys, same time next. What is today, anyways? Today's Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday we'll be back, same time.
Sunday's Father's Day, right?
Is it Father's Day?
Is it the 19th?
I don't know. God, I don't even know what day Father's Day is.
I think so.
Oh shit! I guess we'll have to call Dad, huh?
Yeah. Live on the show.
Live on the show. That'd be fucking hilarious.
He'll be so boring.
Oh man. Well, hopefully when we go live next Sunday, we won't get kicked off of wisdom for I really wish I hope I get an email telling me where that word that triggered the wisdom to go off.
It was me. It was my fault, dude. My bad.
I think it was talking about the 80-year-old.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just gonna why don't we not? Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and end this now. Tuning in over in social media. I appreciate you guys. Everybody make sure you're liking and sharing this out. If you're watching on YouTube, please press that subscribe button. We'll catch you guys later on. We'll be let's go to the banners. We'll be back. Gary, just hang out for a minute, brother.
Later, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Snowflake Melter, the Mark G Show. Mark is your everyday hardworking business owner that loves America, and he certainly doesn't mind telling it like it is. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. To send an email, it's on air at themarkgshow.com. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Mark G Show. See you next time.